Alright, welcome back to The Belief. This is episode 12. So it's now a video podcast because I actually think of really just posting it on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts so we can reach out to a larger audience in a way. And why we name this entire podcast as The Belief is because it's decentralized beliefs in a way that is totally decentralized. I'm talking into the mind without a plan, without nothing. It's just my personal beliefs on certain topics and I just talk about it. I just thought of a topic today and this is episode 12. Basically, happiness comes from within. And it's gonna be an episode for sure. So picking it up from happiness comes from within, and most of it's about us not knowing and our uncertainty on things that makes us happy. We tend to think we find happiness from external sources, really just find things that makes us happy or find people that makes us happy, to find so much things that just to make us happy. But at the end of the day, it's actually just us trying to make ourselves happy. So the whole time I was trying to find things that makes me happy, like money. I worked so hard because I thought if I would have to reach a point of certain wealth, I would be happy. But I reached a certain point of it that I'm really free. But to be happy, it's a completely different perspective. It's a choice. Happiness is a choice, and getting a certain type of wealth is also a choice. And I choose to go to that path instead of just finding the happiness side of it. But without actually going through it, I actually not aware of these things as well. Actually going through, reaching a certain point of wealth. I'm free, I'm alright. It's just that even if you're alright, you're free, you're financially independent and all that, happiness is subconscious to it. It doesn't really relate that well. Some people might relate well, like wealth to happiness, but not me. I think most people realize that as well, as they really just reach a certain point of wealth and they kind of just want to turn their life around. It's more money, more problems kind of thing. Does money actually gives you a lot more problems than to really just have no happiness into it, and all your life is just you working towards a certain point of wealth and really just hit that certain idea of success. Money is success and all that, but it's not. Happiness is. And just moving towards it really fucked up my entire system, really just trying to earn. And money. That's it. And there's no happiness to it. You're really buying things that you like, you're buying things that you want, all that. You have to get to provide for your family, you have to get to provide for your friends, you really just pay for a friend's meal and all that. And everybody enjoys that. But at a certain point of life, you really need to find that happiness that doesn't come from anybody else or anything else. It's actually from yourself. So to this point, I only realized that happiness comes from within, and really to think to myself that what makes me happy as a person. So being financially free and all that really just helps me get into it a lot easier. But at one point, it doesn't matter if I'm really just free or whatever it is. It's more of my thoughts and thinking process, my thinking process towards life. And shit. I was really fucked at one point where I'm earning money, of course, I'm buying things that I like all the fucking time. And I was not happy. Really just spending my money on things and thinking that things like this will make me happy, and it didn't. And it pisses me off a lot more. But at this point, happiness that comes from within, it doesn't matter what changes externally. Internally, I'm fucking happy. I'm so happy. And at this stage, you realize that the happiness is completely different because you do not depend it on anything else or anyone else. So when I used to be dating anyone, and it comes down to like really depending my happiness on someone else, and that's really not the way to go. Yeah, it's just being dependent in a way. Like happiness has to be an independent thing. All right. So, okay, back to the dating stage of story kind of thing. Yeah. So I was basically depending my happiness on somebody else. So if someone's really pissed off at me or something, I would not be happy about it because I would be pissed off too. Because everything, my emotions is really just depending on this person. And yeah, if this person just a simple kind of dating kind of thing, like if they do something that pisses me off and it doesn't settles with me, I choose to be angry. I choose to be like really just handling it without any emotional intelligence. And that's one fuck up that I really made. Yeah. So one example is like, maybe this person I was dating forgot to really just say goodnight through text or whatever it is. And I would be crazy about it. Like I would just like, I'm not settled. Like I'm not happy. I can't sleep. I can't do this. I can't do that. But that's what's going to happen if you're not happy like internally and you're just depending on this person, you know. But as someone that's really happy, if someone really just forgot to say goodnight or something, like just fell asleep, it's a different perspective. Like you're happy, you can still sleep. It's just that you want to talk to this person and you communicate with them. And it's true like emotional intelligence and you're really still happy with yourself. It's not like they are controlling you. Yeah, so like even with things, like maybe you buy a new pair of Jordans, you think that's gonna make you happy. Yeah, for the short amount of time. Yeah, for that maximum 5 days. 5 days. You're gonna be happy for that 5 days. Then once the feeling fade away and you think that you're not happy anymore and shit like that, you have to get another one. That's also another thing. So you're depending on your spending habits. So how much do you need to earn to really just do all that? And to really just be happy from external sources like this, it's not sustainable. Like, what happens if everything really breaks down? Are you just gonna be that piece of shit? Not right. So happiness that comes from within, in a way, is like you yourself is happy no matter where you are. Even if I'm talking aggressively right now, I'm happy and just really grateful with like things that comes around, you know. Of course, we can aim for like a greater success, a greater wealth and all that, but it comes down to happiness and really dealing with it like happily that counts the most. And it's when you're really happy with yourself, you're doing it really different, like from a very different perspective that you will realize. Yeah. So with what I really do is that to keep my happiness intact is that I have to be grateful of things that I got. I have to appreciate everything that I have and really just push myself to a limit that's just perfectly balanced between like work and life. And sometimes work blends into my life and it's part of life. So just seeing things in like a different perspective and really enjoying doing things, even if I don't really enjoy it that much. And you see, for example, like even if you're working at a 9 to 5, you know you're gonna do it. You know you're gonna do it, like it's a choice of like really just doing it happily or not. So why not just choose the path of like really just doing it happily? That's what I did. Like my work requires me to talk with clients and all that. I don't really like to do that as a person because I'm more of an introvert. But at a certain point, I really just have to do it happily because it's part of my life. I have to do it. I have to do it either way, happily or not. I have to do it. So I choose to do it happily with every single client. And it works well with myself and with every single one, like every single client that comes to us or me. And yeah, it's different. It's a different perspective. And you see things differently when you're really happy. So I really do like suggest like really just looking into this kind of topic of like really just choosing happiness over almost everything. So like really just take care of yourself to a point where you're like fulfilled in a way. True happiness. Happiness is the end goal for me. Yeah. So for all the topics that are talked in this podcast are usually unplanned. So we talk about things that are really random and it's jumping here and there and bullshit like this. It's just all my beliefs. You can see that it's completely decentralized because I do it like, yeah, it's completely raw. It's just raw. Yeah, that's it. And with this concept of like happiness comes from within, I don't really care about anything else. Yeah, what matters the most is myself in a way that my opinions matter to me a lot. I collect feedback, but my opinions matter to me the most. And my happiness is the most important thing. So anybody that's gonna piss me off or anything like that, I choose to really just do it happily, deal with it happily, deal with it responsibly. Even if it's a bad situation or it's like a sad or disappointed situation, you deal with it happily and responsibly. It comes down to really just solving the problem. And you're actually happy doing it. Like every single problem. We all have our problems, we're all different. We see things in life differently. And what I'm talking right now might be really just, I don't know, like, it doesn't make sense to you, like, at all. But yeah, we have different perspectives and all that. You really have to really understand that in life, everyone's fucking different. And most of us will have the end goal of being happy instead of being wealthy. Yeah, most of us. And yeah, so I think that's about it for this episode. So episode 12, yeah, happiness comes from within. Yeah, thank you for listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and thank you for watching on YouTube on Big Cloud. Yeah, this has been an amazing episode for the first video podcast on The Belief. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, I love doing this. This is really impromptu and I felt amazing doing this, just talking to the camera, to the fucking wall, and it feels amazing. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you a lot. We'll talk again. Bye-bye.